So let's talk about the race itself. I guess this whole thing started because I was listening to Randy Erickson's podcast called TA1. And Lewis, that I mentioned in the previous video, is from Ecuador. He's done this race like every single year it has been offered, and he loves it. He described it as the New Zealand of the Americas. And I don't know if anybody here has seen pictures of New Zealand, but it's absolutely unbelievable. And I want to go really bad, but that's a huge trip. And so when I found out we have a little New Zealand down in South America, I was like, okay, I'm all over this. I want to go to this race.
So the race from my perspective is going to be super challenging. I am most afraid of the elevation change. You know, we live at sea level and it's pretty flat here. So, you know, it's going to be a long race. There's only supposed to be I think it was 18 or 19 checkpoints over the course of 4 days. So that's a little bit different pace than, you know, a lot of races we do. So the longer stages means longer of any one discipline usually. So longer on the feet.
4-day race, 96 hours, 5 stages, 1 paddle, 2 trek, 2 bike. We definitely crossed 4,000 meters at one point. There's probably a high alpine lake that we're going to be paddling across. So from my perspective, it's a challenging race in a terrain and a climate altitude I've not yet been to. So there's a lot there. There's a lot to kind of absorb and a lot to agree to experience. And it feels like a lot sometimes when you think about it, right? The travel to a foreign country, navigating all of the customs and the systems and getting into the country, and then getting your gear ready. And then for 4 straight days, heading off into the jungle, the Paramo, which is the high tundra, the mountains, the low levels, the forest, the beginning of the Amazon.
It also has a long history. So we know that the race director is experienced. That's always a plus, because sometimes the inexperienced race directors on such a race, like a 4-day race, if they do a bad job, you really have a bad experience. So I want a race director that knows what they're doing, knows how to show off their local area, and make sure the logistical side and the safety side of a World Series adventure race is being handled properly. Also, I asked around to other U.S. teams that have done the race before. They said it was well run and it was a lot of fun, although it's hard. Everybody says basically it's fun, but it's hard. But we like hard, right? You can't push your limits unless you first find them, right?
So originally, the plan was for my team to go to Scotland. We were going to race Iterra Oban in southwestern Scotland. Open Adventures, James Thurlow, great race. And just with COVID and vaccines and travel, that race was put off to 2022. So I had a huge hole in my schedule, a huge opening to do something, and I had kicked around going out to Alaska to go tour around a little bit and things like that. And
so I was lucky in my situation. We were able to get Dirk out of Buena Vista, Virginia, and also Brian out of New Jersey. And so we kind of knew each other on Facebook and seen each other at races, and so they were able to join the team. That was really important. I was really hoping to have a United States team of people that I know, because whenever you do a race this big,
I had read and I'd seen online that the Huairasinchi was available in Ecuador. So I reached out to Chip and to Andrea, and I said, if you know of anybody who's going down, let me know. And they had a spot on their team. So I happily jumped into the race.
My team role is the backup navigator. The strategy to finish is just be smart about what we try to accomplish. I think we're going to have to maybe drop a few points, and if we do, just be strategic about that.
I definitely want to take good care of myself, take good care of my teammates. My role in the team, I've never raced with my 3 teammates before, so my role is put my head down to work hard. I tend to be on the stronger side, so as a result, I will carry gear as necessary. I'm bringing a large pack that I could put other gear into if I have to. And my plan there is just to take care of my teammates.
It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out, because usually the team roles kind of morph a little bit as you get started, and we haven't raced with Dirk or Brian before. I think they're going to be great teammates, but I usually fall into that role of kind of a race mom. Like, I like to kind of be in the back and make sure I can see everybody and I know where everyone's at. You know, I kind of feel like I check in with them and just kind of make sure we're all on the same page and communicating. And that's what I hope to be able to do.
For me, the race is really a 96-hour opportunity to put to good use my training and my attitude, to be a good teammate, to take care of others and to be taken care of, and to really enjoy myself. There's an old New Zealand expression that my friend Petty uses from time to time, and the expression is sometimes fun isn't fun. So while it'll be challenging to be out there, while it'll be hard to be out there, it's going to be great, and it'll be completely worth it.
I'm going to do the usual. I'm going to focus on what I can do at the moment. I'm going to be, as helpful as I can be, and I'm going to accept help when I need it. I hope to just always remember to embody our team name, this ability. That's really important to me, to just really focus on what we can do. So if that means we're going to be doing the AR shuffle up a trail, great, we'll be running. But if it means we're going to have our trekking poles out and we're going to be light footing it and just making constant forward motion, then so be that.
We're going into this race knowing we are sea level going to high altitude. This is not a race that we have any chance of being in like the top 10. It's not going to happen because the locals there are very competitive. They live there, they know the area, they do the race every year, and they're acclimatized because they live there. So basically our goal in this race, and I think it's important for teams to set goals for each race, because sometimes you're going for the podium, other times you just want to survive. In this situation, our goal is basically we want to cross the finish line as friends, as a full team with no serious illness or injury, having had the time of our life. Like, we want a unique, once in a lifetime experience. So although we're going to suffer and push hard, we're not going to do it at the detriment of illness or injury. And we're not going to do it if like totally fighting and going at it, which has never happened to us, but it has happened in other teams. And so we really want to make sure we're pushing as hard as we can while really gelling as a team. So that's kind of our goal going into this.
I'm fearless. I'm scared. I'm scared of letting my teammates down. That's my biggest fear. The race itself doesn't scare me. It's just meeting their expectations and being there for them. That's what worries me the most.
I'm scared of being the slowest person on a 4-person team. I know that my teammates are fast and they're strong and they're quick and they do well. So I think keeping up is going to be a challenge for me. That's what my head's telling me right now. For all I know, I could get there and I could be completely fine. I'm training to be ready for that, though, and I'm training to be a good teammate with that. So I'm not wildly scared of that. I don't think I have to go in the ground on this one. I think there's no caving sections. Please no. If there is, I'll figure it out when I get there. But I really don't want to go in the ground. And all the typical fears that we have going into this. Will the gear make it? Will I make it there? Will I be in one piece? Will my stomach hold together? Will my head hold together? But that's why we do this, right? That's why we do this. And because of those challenges and because of these contrived inconveniences that Grant Killian talks about, I'm just myself very lucky that I get to go and take on this challenge and see what happens. Could be great, could not be great, probably a mixture of the two, more great than not. So we'll see what happens.
The other thing is I try to build in sleep. Like if I see a big bike section coming up and we've been going for a few days, is take a 30 minutes or an hour and a half before you get on the bikes. Because falling off a bike is pretty dangerous and you get really hurt, especially if it's like a lot of downhill with rocks and stuff. So you want to be alert going on that. So try to plan your sleep around avoiding danger. For example, on the boats too. Boats, your heart rate drops. Usually, it's a time where you're relaxing. Maybe you're eating because it's hard to eat while you're on a bike. Maybe you get on the paddle section. You want to hydrate. You want to eat. So you're going a little slower. Your heart rate drops. Now your body's like, this is relaxing, and then you immediately fall asleep. So we'll probably try to get a little cat nap going into the boat, any type of paddle section, especially whitewater, so that you're as alert as you can to get through that paddle section. Teams a lot of times will bring like a waterproof music player and play music or do stuff on the paddle because everybody has a hard time staying awake on the paddle section. Okay, so I think that's basically the race and our strategy going into it.